Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Navigation. The lord of a country, ascending to the top of the navigation Mecha King, Bai Luo travels through the world of pirates, becomes the lord of a country, and awakens the Mecha King system. At this very moment, the country is about to face a powerful enemy invasion. The Black Lion and Tiger army launched a fierce attack, completely annihilating the enemy they had attacked. Since then, the mechanical beasts manufactured by Bai Luo have gained great fame. Named as the Mech King above the four emperors. Under the frenzy of metal, no inch will grow. Yellow ape. Is Tiger Sha really just a mechanical beast? Why is his speed even faster than me? Warring States period. What kind of ghost is this fierce scarlet? In the form of a great Buddha, I can't resist his punch. Red dog. The Dragon Emperor can really kill me. Kaido. Lying noisy, the blue poison beast is stabbing me in the back like a cub. Top of the war. Bai Luo leads the fierce beast tribe in the third battle, and tens of thousands of mechanical beast troops make a strong appearance. Watching tens of thousands of mechanical frenzies, the three major generals are numb. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001 King Bailuo. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The year 1520 in the Haiyuan calendar. Great Voyage, New World, Romanov Kingdom. This is a small country located on a large island. The Romanov Kingdom has a main city and 3 towns on this island. Within 100 kilometers of the island, except for the Romanov Kingdom. There are also 2 other kingdoms. They are respectively the Kingdom of Herbert and the Kingdom of Aegir. The Romanov Kingdom, Herbert Kingdom, and Aegir Kingdom are distributed in a triangular pattern within a 100-kilometer sea area. In the past, although there were occasional frictions among the 3 major kingdoms, their military strength was almost the same. So there was no major conflict breaking out. But in the past 6 months, I don't know what the reason is. The Kingdom of Herbert began to target the Kingdom of Romanov and repeatedly took the initiative to provoke them. Both sides suffered casualties. And recently, Herbert suddenly stopped provoking the Romanov Kingdom. Start a large-scale gathering of troops. Anyone can tell that the Herbert Kingdom is going to make a big move. As for the Kingdom of Aegir, it has always been sitting on the mountain watching the tiger fight. It seems that the Herbert Kingdom is preparing to take action against the Romanov Kingdom. As for the reason for the action, they are also very clear. The island where the Romanov Kingdom is located has abundant resources. This is an advantage that neither of the other 2 countries has. They once had plans for the Romanov Kingdom, but due to the similar military strength between the 2 sides. So the Kingdom of Aegir has been reluctant to let go. This is actually a great opportunity. The war between the 2 countries is at least a win-win situation. Then they will have a chance. Romanov Kingdom. Crown Highland. General Hans walked in with steady steps. The calm and self-imposing demeanor made people feel awe-inspiring. He scanned the main hall of the palace and did not find any trace of the king. Immediately, he asked a servant next to him. "Where is your majesty now?" Upon hearing Hans's question, the servant respectfully bowed and said, "General, your majesty is currently in his palace." A palace. Hans frowned slightly at the words. But the next second he seemed to have thought of something and walked towards the direction of the palace. At this moment, the palace was a different scene. I saw a handsome young man lying leisurely on the lap of a beautiful woman. The beauty took the opportunity to feed a grape into the young man's mouth. The boy with his eyes closed quietly enjoyed the beauty's service. But there was no trace of distractions in my heart. He has just completed today's cultivation and his body is very tired. I just want to relax a bit now. The handsome young man's name is Bai Luo. Although he is currently the king of the Romanov Kingdom. But in fact, he is not a person from the world of pirates, but a traveler. 3 years ago, he had just graduated and was about to step into society to show his ambitions. But by chance, I crossed into the world of pirates. And became the king of this country. After accepting this reality, Bai Luo was completely immersed in anxiety. Bai Luo was also considered a pirate fan in his past life. So he understands better that the so-called pirate world is not a hot-blooded world. He is very aware of the cruelty of the pirate world. There are countless pirates here who burn, kill, plunder, and do all sorts of evil. Here, the navy is not true justice, but a tool for world governments to rule the world. The ugly Tianlong here is the ruler of the world. In summary, this is a corrupt world dominated by the Tianlong people and plagued by pirates. The only thing that makes Bai Luo feel fortunate is that his current identity is the head of a country. He is not a lowly person without any status. Although the Romanov kingdom is located in a dangerous new world. But this place is relatively remote, so it is relatively safe. After Bai Luo accepted this reality, he began to constantly call out to the system in his heart. After all, this is the standard configuration for travelers. But his words were like mud cows sailing into the sea, receiving no response at all. Finally, he made a bitter roast in his heart and began to seek new ways. After all, there are 2 other countries lurking around. He can't just sit idly by. Since crossing into the world of pirates is an indisputable fact, it is necessary to do something great. He doesn't want to be destroyed by these little people in just a few days. Then he is probably the most miserable interloper he has ever had. Spread it out and throw a face at the passers-by. New book set sail, seek point data. 002 Machine King System. You are listening at novelfull.audio. During these 3 years, Bai Luo began to practice crazily. Don't be fooled by the fact that there are only 2 other countries in the current crisis. If one day he offends the strong of the new world, he will still face danger. The strength of those people is not comparable to those of these 2 countries. So in these 3 years, Bai Luo can be said to have maximized his potential. Fortunately, his cultivation talent seems to be really good. He has now become familiar with and mastered the aura of seeing, hearing, and armed colors. Although Bai Luo has not yet fought against a truly strong person, based on his judgment. His current strength should be stronger than that of a naval lieutenant. As for how much stronger it is, I don't know. And after 3 years of martial arts training, the combat effectiveness of the soldiers of the Romanov kingdom has long since changed. A month ago, when Bai Luo wanted to eradicate the kingdom of Herbert in one fell swoop. The system that Bai Luo had been hoping for without awakening unexpectedly appeared. After a brief moment of confusion, there was a helpless bitter smile. There is indeed an old saying that goes well. The system will be late, but it will never be absent. It's better to be late than never. Bai Luo immediately checked the system. It doesn't matter if you don't look at it. At first glance, Bai Luo's pupils tremble. His system turned out to be the Mech King system. As a traveler, Bai Luo is well versed in anime from his past life. And this Mecha King system is also the anime martial arts world. After a brief conversation with the system, Bai Luo also understood the specific purpose of the Mecha King system. He can continuously create various mechanical beasts through the system. Including the most basic types of troops such as the Black Lion Tiger, Black Armored Beast, and Ice Wolf Beast. There is even the strongest 3 Great Wars King of the Beast clan. Tiger Sha Tian, Fierce Scarlet, War Dragon Emperor. In addition, there are 6 strong members of the motorcycle family. Thunder of Fire, Rapid Blade, Power Element Overlord, Jedi Bomb, Headwind Whirlwind, and Breaking Sky Ice. At the same time, as long as Bai Luo continuously builds various mechanical beasts and successfully awakens them, you can obtain energy points. Energy points can be used for lucky draws. Through understanding, Bai Luo offers a variety of rewards. This includes not only rewards in the martial arts world, but also rewards in the pirate world. Including but not limited to tricolor dominance, strong physique, trauma elixir red agate, infinite endurance energy amethyst, and isolation detection black scorching stone. There are even methods for building energy city and thunder palace. This made Bai Luo extremely happy. For him, every reward is particularly tempting. And when I think of the terrifying power of the Beast Tribe 3 War King. There is also the joint attack skill of the 6 motorcycle warriors. He can't wait any longer. The only uncertainty for Bai Luo is how the characters in the martial arts world will perform when their combat power arrives in the pirate world. So he temporarily put the plan to attack the Herbert Kingdom on hold. Start building the Black Lion and Tiger army according to the manufacturing method provided by the system. After the first batch of Black Lions and Tigers are successfully crafted, we will use the Kingdom of Herbert to test their combat effectiveness. During the creation process, Bai Luo suddenly thought of a question. Can we put the Sea Tower stone into the body of the mechanical beast? If one day they encounter someone with natural abilities, at least they still have the power to fight. As is well known, in the world of pirates, those with natural fruit abilities can use their dominance and seawater to restrain themselves. The only way is to use Feilu Novel. There is no hope for them to learn to be domineering, Bai Luo. He can only find a solution on the Sea Tower stone. After another round of inquiry, the answer given by the system is yes. Bai Luo knows that Feilu Novel is a specialty of the country of He. Although there were some difficulties, he still managed to get in touch with Jack, the drought victim in the country of He. After all, there have always been various underground transactions in the country. Bai Luo paid a considerable price to buy a batch of Sea Tower stones. He needs to test the effect first. If the effect is good, then all of this is worth it. Your Majesty. Do you still want to eat? Looking at Bai Luo who seemed to be asleep, the beauty asked softly. Bai Luo regained his senses. No need. At this moment. Your Majesty. A strong voice sounded from outside the door. Bai Luo stood up and sat down, saying to the beauty. I'll take care of some business, you can leave first. Yes, Your Majesty. As soon as the door opened, Bai Luo saw Hans standing respectfully outside the door. Bai Luo knew that Hans must have something important, but he was the first to ask. Hans, is there still no movement on the side of the Herbert Kingdom? Your Majesty, after investigation, it has been found that the Kingdom of Herbert is currently gathering troops, and it is unlikely that there will be a major move soon. Their action this time should be aimed at us. Upon hearing this, Bai Luo nodded slightly, but there was no surprised expression on his face. As if all of this was within his expectations. If it weren't for testing the strength of the Black Lion and Tiger army, he would have led troops to annihilate the Kingdom of Herbert long ago. Bai Luo changed his tone and immediately asked. What are you looking for me for? Speaking of business, Hans dare not neglect it. Your Majesty, according to your instructions, 1,000 Black Lion Tigers and Flying Tigers have been successfully crafted. The remaining mechanical beasts are still being built. Has it been successfully crafted? Bai Luo's face showed both surprise and surprise expressions. It seems that with the creation method, the efficiency is really high. However, there is still a final step to successfully awaken them. Let's go Hans, let's go take a look. The words fell. Bai Luo took the lead and headed towards the mechanical animal manufacturing factory. Hans followed closely behind. The speed of the two is very fast. After a few minutes of travel, a highly private mechanical animal manufacturing factory was revealed before the two of them. Bai Luo arranged nearly 1,000 soldiers to guard the area in order to keep it confidential. This is not just some invisible secret sentries. This is my own trump card. Seeing Bai Luo and Hans arrive. Many guards at the door saluted one after another. See Your Majesty. Farewell to the general. Get up and open the door. Bai Luo said. Yes, your majesty. In Bai Luo's expectant gaze, the heavy door finally opened. New book on the road, seek some data. 003 Black Lion and Tiger Army Awakens. You are listening at novel full.audio. As the heavy door slowly opened, Bai Luo and Hans also walked in. At this time, there are still many craftsmen working inside. Firelight kept shooting inside. Various tapping sounds kept coming and going. Seeing Bai Luo's arrival, everyone stopped their work and saluted him. Bai Luo nodded slightly. Everyone went out except Hans. Yes, your majesty. Upon hearing the command, everyone walked out of the factory one after another. At this moment, only Bai Luo and Hans were left in the vast factory. Wait until everyone goes out. Bai Luo carefully scrutinized the scene before him. At this moment, in front of Bai Luo, a large army of 1,000 black lions and tigers were neatly arranged. And in front of them, it is a mechanical beast full of strong mechanical feeling, standing at a height of 5 meters, with a light green shell. He is undoubtedly a flying tiger. However, at this point, the pupils of all the mechanical beasts are dark, indicating that they have not yet been truly activated. Bai Luo nodded in satisfaction when he saw this. Just like the mechanical beast in his memory. The only downside is that each mechanical beast has slight flaws. However, Bai Luo did not have too much disappointment. He is already very satisfied with being able to achieve this level. Watching Bai Luo fall silent, Hans walked forward. Your Majesty, I wonder how to awaken these mechanical beasts. At this moment, he looked bewildered. I don't know where Bai Luo developed his manufacturing method. Surprisingly, this kind of beast can be made. But to be honest, he doesn't have much confidence in these beasts. At the end of the day, these are just some metals. Where can it be so powerful? Most importantly, he still doesn't understand where the power source of these mechanical beasts comes from. If there is no power source, these are really just a pile of scrap iron. However, it has always been hindered by the dignity of Bai Luo. He dare not speak much. Seeing Hans's expression, Bai Luo smiled slightly. Then he sank his consciousness into his mind. View the system. A line of prompts appeared in front of Bai Luo. Host, your Mech King system is currently at the first level. Once all the mechanical beasts in the first level are successfully created, the next level will be automatically unlocked. The mechanical beasts to be created include Black Lion Tiger, Blue Leopard Beast, Earth Hidden Tiger, Flying Tiger, Golden Claw God, and Tiger Sha. For this requirement, Bai Luo has read it many times. Every time he enters the system will prompt him. He is already tired of watching. View System Repository. This is the main purpose of Bai Luo. This is the built.In warehouse of the system, which serves as storage. Upon hearing Bai Luo's request, the system warehouse automatically pops up. And the things inside also revealed their true colors. Black Lion and Tiger Spirit Core Unlimited, Level E, Earth Hidden Tiger Spirit Core *3, D. Level, Blue Panther Spirit Core *2, Level C, Flying Tiger Spirit Core *1, A. Level, Golden Claw Divine Core *1, A. Level, Tiger Sha Heavenly Spirit Core *1, S. Level. Bai Luo smiled and nodded. These spiritual cores are the foundation of mechanical beasts. With the spiritual core, they can truly awaken. Under the control of Bai Luo. The only A.level Flying Tiger Spirit Core and 1000 Black Lion Tiger Spirit Cores in the system mall suddenly flew out of my mind. Seeing this scene, Hans, who was somewhat bored waiting on the side, was so frightened that he immediately retreated several steps. There was a frightened expression on his face. Your Majesty. Your Majesty, are these? Looking at the spirit core of the beast floating in the air. Hans is a bit incoherent. Watching Hans, who had always been serious, surprisingly lose his composure. Bai Luo shook his head somewhat helplessly. Hans, don't be nervous, these are the things that make the mechanical beast wake up. Upon hearing Bai Luo's explanation, Hans slowly approached, looking at them with a skeptical expression. Bai Luo no longer hesitated, in his gaze. On the heads of the flying tiger and all the black lion tigers. The font shadow of whether to merge has popped up. Bai Luo's gaze was fixed on him, and he murmured inwardly. Fusion. Obtain instructions, all spiritual cores in the void. Each one suddenly turned into a stream of light. One after another, it merged into the bodies of the black lion tiger and the flying tiger. Bai Luo watched the scene calmly. Next second, all the mechanical beasts burst out with a burst of light. But this light is not strong. Bai Luo can still see the changes in their bodies clearly. After the spiritual core melted into their bodies, all the mechanical beasts began to undergo changes almost at the same time. The original height of about 5 meters has skyrocketed to the height of 6 meters. And this is just the beginning. Bai Luo could clearly see that the shells of all the mechanical beasts were covered with a more glossy substance. Even their light claws and shoulder-mounted beam guns are undergoing some peculiar sublimation. Bai Luo watched this scene with satisfaction. This spiritual core is indeed the core of the mechanical beast. Not only can it provide power, but it can also transform the body of mechanical beasts in a way that Bai Luo does not understand. The entire process did not last for a long time. Soon, the light that enveloped the mechanical beast disappeared. Bai Luo's surprising discovery. Originally, some flaws on these beasts disappeared completely. It looks like a complete whole, rather than just pieced together. Bai Luo's eyes burst into a bright light. The next is the most critical moment. It seems to be to verify Bai Luo's conjecture. Next second the originally dim pupils of Feitian Tiger and all the black lions and tigers suddenly lit up at almost the same time. In an instant, a solemn aura rushed towards me. Hans had a serious expression on his face. He actually sensed a hint of danger from these mechanical beasts. And he seemed to sense a hint of humanization in the crimson pupils of these mechanical beasts. Hans stood in front of Bai Luo with a wary expression on his face. Your Majesty, be careful. Bai Luo remained silent, with no excessive expression on his face, staring directly at the flying tiger. Next up. In Hans's stunned gaze. Flying tigers and 1,000 black lions and tigers knelt on one knee at the same time. He clasped his hands and lowered his head. I am a general under the Tiger Demon Heavenly Seat. Feitian Tiger has seen the King of Machine Warfare. My subordinate, Black Lion and Tiger, has seen the King of Machine Warfare. The sound was deafening and full of vitality. There is no mechanical noise at all. Bai Luo finally showed a smile on his face. Hansen also consciously stepped aside and looked at the scene with a surprised expression on his face. Are these really mechanical beasts? Why are they so humanized? Why call Your Majesty the King of Machine Warfare? New book seeking data. 004 First Lottery, Rich Rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Luo nodded in satisfaction. Under the traction of the system, there were intricate connections between Bai Luo and these mechanical beasts. Bai Luo's gaze scanned the black lions and tigers one by one. Now they are exactly the same as the black liger in memory. Let's all get up. Yes. Bai Luo immediately opened the personal panel host. Bai Luo, identity. Mech King. All the fierce beast and motorcycle warriors created cannot disobey your orders and are 100% loyal to you. Special reminder. 1. The host can freely control the life and death of all mechanical beasts. Unlimited distance, priority higher than backup hidden energy. 2. the host can combine with any mechanical beast and control it, which can comprehensively enhance its combat ability. 3. For mechanical beasts of level A or above, the host can view their location through the system panel. Energy point. 2000. Spending 1000 energy points can lead to advanced lottery, spending 500 energy points can lead to intermediate lottery, and spending 200 energy points can lead to low.level lottery. Is it 2000 energy points? Bai Luo's gaze swept over every line of words. And he could indeed feel that as long as he had a thought in his heart, he could control the flying tiger at will. Unfortunately, these relatively powerful mechanical beasts all have quantity limitations. Otherwise, it probably won't take long. He can dominate the entire pirate world with mechanical beasts. Set aside these unrealistic thoughts. The most important thing now is the combat power of these mechanical beasts. Bai Luo's thoughts twitched slightly. A virtual panel that only Bai Luo could see appeared in front of him. The detailed information of the flying tiger is marked on it. Name. Flying tiger, identity. First general under the tiger demon heavenly seat of War King. Level. Level 15. Seeing the level of the flying tiger, Bai Luo was slightly surprised. He vaguely remembers that in the original work, when the flying tiger died, it was at level 15. I didn't expect him to reach the highest level he had ever produced. However, it's also good that Feilu strength is stronger at its peak. You don't have to start from level 1 and slowly climb up. It saves a lot of trouble. Thinking of this, Bai Luo's heart once again became suspicious. I don't know how they level up in the pirate world, is it the same as in the martial arts world? But this is all about the future. Immediately, Bai Luo began to check the information of the black lion and tiger again. It is also a virtual panel. Name. Black lion and tiger, identity. Warrior of the fierce beast clan under the Tiger Sha heavenly seat. Level. Level 2, Bai Luo's gaze swept over several black lions and tigers, only to find that their information was the same. It seems that these black lions and tigers are all second-level fierce beast warriors. Bai Luo nodded in satisfaction. System. Host, I'm here. Let's start the lottery now. Creating these mechanical beasts earned a total of 2000 energy points. Bai Luo can easily guess based on the quantity. An E.level black lion tiger should have 1 energy point, and an A.level flying tiger should have 1000 energy points. The two add up to exactly 2000 energy points. There are 3 lottery methods in this system, namely advanced lottery, intermediate lottery, and low.level lottery. Kind reminder to the host, the higher the level of the lottery, the higher the probability of winning something good. May I ask the host, which lottery method would you like to choose? Bai Luo pondered for a moment. Advanced lottery requires 1000 energy points, intermediate lottery requires 500 energy points, and low.level lottery requires 200 energy points. He currently has a total of 2000 energy points. Can conduct 2 advanced lottery draws. But Bai Luo adheres to the principle of not putting eggs in one basket. The final decision was made. He definitely didn't consider the low.level lottery. The probability of obtaining good things is too small. System, 1 advanced lottery and 2 intermediate lottery, start now. Okay, host, please be patient. The host has completed 3 lucky draws. Congratulations to the host for winning the following prizes, advanced reward. Pirate World Barrett Constitution. Intermediate rewards. 5 energy amethyst, 5 energy amethyst. Barrett's Constitution. 10 energy amethysts. Isn't this posted? At this moment, Bai Luo could no longer suppress his excited emotions. It goes without saying that energy amethyst is a gas station for mechanical beasts. Just 1 energy amethyst is needed to quickly restore the energy and health of the mechanical beast. In the original work, this is also a very rare thing. Even the King of War 3 doesn't have many pieces in his hands. Most of them are hidden in the Fire Dragon Valley under the Energy City. Now he has received 10 yuan at once. To some extent, it can be said that this is 10 lives. And the role of Energy Amethyst goes beyond that. Bai Luo remembers clearly. Energy Amethyst also has a defensive effect. In the original work, Jingjing used Energy Amethyst to block the deadly skill of Moonlight Bloodstorm, which was like an open battle between Fire Thunder and Rapid Blade. Of course, what excites Bai Luo the most at this moment is the high-level reward. Barrett's physique. Although he is now able to completely control the mechanical beast. But ultimately, these are just external things. It's not his true strength. Even though he has been practicing hard for the past 3 years, he cannot be like those perverted players in the world of pirates. But now it's different. He has acquired Barrett's physique. The importance of physical fitness in the world of pirates is self-evident. Give a simple example. If there is no abnormal physique with a white beard, even if you have obtained the earthquake fruit, I'm afraid the first person to die is the user themselves. Bai Luo tried to suppress the excitement in his heart. He first put 10 energy amethysts into the system warehouse. Immediately whispered. Receive rewards. New book seeking data. 005 gains Barrett's physical strength, strong enemy is attacking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the thought of having Barrett's physique, Bai Luo became somewhat eager. In the world of pirates, abilities can be obtained by eating demonic fruits. But physical fitness and dominance are two things that are purely achieved through hard work. Of course, let's talk about those like Auntie who have abnormal talents. After all, not everyone is like her. Sensing Bai Luo's inner thoughts, the systematic gift finally began. Improving the host's physical condition, please be patient and wait. As the system prompts the sound, Bai Luo can clearly feel it. His physique is increasing at an extremely exaggerated rate. Just a few breaths have elevated several levels. Almost instantly, the physique of the lieutenant general was thrown several streets away. However, upon careful consideration, it is also normal. How could the physique of a lieutenant level be compared to that of a monster level abnormal physique like Barrett? It's like heaven and earth. Even naval generals, in terms of physique alone, they may not necessarily reach the level of Barrett. The process of enhancing physical fitness does not last for a long time. After about 3 minutes, Bai Luo could no longer feel any changes in his body. I believe it has already been received. Subsequently, there emerged an inexhaustible and surging physical energy within the body, like waves of the sea. There is also an extremely powerful force lurking within Bai Luo's body. Bai Luo clenched his fist slightly, and could even hear the sound of the void being squeezed. It can be imagined that his strength had reached a terrifying level at this moment. At the same time, as Bai Luo clenched his fists, the muscular lines on his arms, resembling dragons, were clearly visible. It's finally over, Bai Luo briefly moved around and suddenly felt incredibly comfortable all over. There is no discomfort at all. Most importantly, although he gained Barrett's physical strength, but there was no significant change in his body. There was no exaggerated physique or muscular appearance resembling that of a beast like Barrett. Just looking slightly more robust on the surface than before. But for Bai Luo, who was not already thin and weak, this change is nothing at all. Fortunately, there were no terrifying changes. Although he envies Barrett's strength, he doesn't like his exaggerated muscle lines. If he really becomes like Barrett, Bello will be really depressed. Hans beside him kept his gaze fixed on Bai Luo. I don't know if it's his illusion. He noticed that Bai Luo's body seemed to have undergone some strange change. Of course, he just had a vague feeling. But he can't say exactly what it is. But he didn't pay too much attention either. After all, the image of Bai Luo in his mind has always been very mysterious. So when something strange happened in Bai Luo, he didn't mind either. After Bai Luo fully adapted, he turned his gaze back to the flying tiger. Now is the most important moment. Test the combat power of these mechanical beasts. I don't know how they will behave in the world of pirates. Hans. On. Flying tiger. I'm here. You two come out. Under the instruction of Bai Luo, one person and one beast fought in opposition. You two have a sparring, remember to point it out. Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, the Mech King. Bai Luo nodded slightly. Hans was the great general of the Romanov kingdom, second only to him in strength. His current strength should be similar to that of an ordinary naval lieutenant. According to this standard, as long as they determine the winner, they can roughly judge the strength of flying tigers. Hans dare not be careless. Although the other party is a mechanical beast, I don't know why. But it brought him a sense of danger. When facing the flying tiger directly, this feeling becomes even stronger. Feilu tiger, be careful, I have to. Your Majesty, Your Majesty. As a result, Hans hasn't finished speaking yet. A hurried shout sounded outside the door. The battle between the two has also been temporarily suspended. Bai Luo's eyebrows furrowed slightly. Although he was somewhat dissatisfied, it was not difficult to discern from the person's voice. It must be an urgent matter. Come in and say. Upon receiving instructions from Bai Luo, the people outside quickly opened the door. The person hurriedly ran to Bai Luo's side and knelt on one knee, saying, Your Majesty, things are not going well. There is news from the forward outpost that the army of the Kingdom of Herbert has set off towards us. At most 30 minutes, they will arrive at our port. Is it so fast? How many people have they come? Your Majesty, the enemy has dispatched a total of 10 ships, totaling about 10,000 people. Is there so much? Bai Luo frowned slightly upon hearing the words, knowing that the standing army of Romanov's entire country was only about 15,000 people. And the standing armies of the Kingdom of Herbert and the Kingdom of Aegir are a bit more. About 3,000 more people than them. The Kingdom of Herbert surprisingly deployed half of its army. Is this preparing to completely swallow the Romanov kingdom? However, based solely on the words of these 10,000 people, it is somewhat wishful thinking. Bai Luo suddenly snorted coldly, and his whole body was filled with killing intent. Feilu tiger, gather your black lion and tiger troops and come with me to fight. Yes, the Mech King. Hans, gather 10,000 troops and be ready at any time. Yes, Your Majesty. Seeking data. 006 War is imminent, Jess's trump card. You are listening at novel full.audio. In the sea several tens of kilometers away from the Romanov kingdom. 10 ships are sailing in a majestic manner. The deck of the ship was filled with soldiers. They are fully armed and highly vigilant in spirit. They are undoubtedly the elite troops of the Herbert kingdom. The mission this time is to completely destroy the kingdom of Herbert. Although there have been several conflicts with the Romanov kingdom before, they were just minor skirmishes. The king of the kingdom of Herbert is going to take it seriously this time. If it were in the past, he would never dare. Because the difference in military strength between the two countries is not so significant. If they really want to swallow up the Romanov kingdom, they may have to go all out. In the end, I'm afraid we will also end up in a win-win situation. But now it's different. On the ship at the forefront. King Herbert Jess stood at the bow of the ship, gazing in the direction of the Romanov kingdom. His eyes were filled with indifference. He is naturally not a fool. It is absolutely impossible for these 10,000 elite soldiers to take over the Romanov kingdom alone. But if he dares to do so, he must be well prepared. Jess has been dealing with the Romanov kingdom for many years, and both sides are familiar with each other's strength. The Romanov kingdom, apart from the ordinary naval lieutenant general strength of Bai Luo and General Hans, only consists of well-trained ordinary soldiers who are not to be feared at all. He and the general are enough to block the two of Bai Luo and Hans. As for the others, recently, he spent a lot of money recruiting dozens of assassins and extremely vicious pirates. The purpose is to completely swallow up the Romanov kingdom today. Of course, what gave him the most confidence were the two people standing beside him at this moment. And those who are qualified to stand by his side are naturally the two with the strongest strength. A monk wearing a monk-style attire with a monk's head on his head, and a scar on his right face. The other one wore dark sunglasses and looked like a rock singer in overall attire. If Bai Luo were here, he would definitely be able to recognize the two people. They are undoubtedly Dazs Bonis, the quick fruit slayer, and Gem, the explosive fruit slayer. But they were not recruited by Jess with money. After all, their master behind them is Croctor, one of the 7 martial Cs under the king. They really don't like this thing like Jess. Before joining the Baroque society, Dazs Bonis was seriously injured during a mission, and Jess once saved his life. At that time, he also invited Dazs Bonis to join his country, but was politely declined by Dazs Bonis. But he also owes Jess a favor. After he joined the Baroque society, the two of them had no further contact. Who knew that just a few days ago, Jess took the initiative to find him? I want him to do a favor and help him eliminate the Romanov kingdom. And Jess provided a detailed explanation of the power gap between the two countries. Although Dazs Bonis didn't want to cause trouble, he eventually came to the kingdom of Herbert in order to repay Jess's favor. And for the sake of safety, he also called out Gem, the explosive fruit ability. If the facts are really as Jess said, that's not really difficult for them, the matter will be resolved soon. After today, he has nothing to do with Jess anymore. Bonis, I have to rely on you today. Jess turned around and looked at Bones with a smile on his face. This guy has ruthless hands and is also a group of strong players. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become the NO under Crocodile's command. Bonis hesitated to write like gold and nodded slightly, saying, "Don't worry, I will take action. But after today, even if your favor is repaid." That's of course. Jess nodded like a peck of rice. Don't worry, with the two of us taking action, this battle won't last long. And what's the use of recruiting those useless people? Gem looked at the dozens of people behind him with some disdain. Jess's mouth twitched at the words. A smile on his face that was even uglier than crying waste. That was all hired by him at a high cost. Although not comparable to the two of them, dealing with ordinary soldiers is still easy. Everyone has a special skill to kill. Some can spew fire, some are good at assassination, some are good at kicking skills. Seeing this luxurious lineup, Jess was full of confidence. He never imagined any possibility of Bai Luo winning. How far is it from the port of the Romanov kingdom? Jess has become impatient with waiting. Your Majesty, the fleet will arrive at the port of Romanov in about 10 minutes. Okay. Full speed forward. In 10 minutes, I want to let Bai Luo know what despair is. Yes. The Kingdom of Aegir. Crown Highland. King Luke sat on the throne, enjoying the service of a beauty. Report. Your Majesty the King. Something big happened. At this moment, a centurion-level officer suddenly broke into the palace hall, reporting with an anxious expression on his face. What kind of behavior is reckless and flustered? Seeing the officer's anxious expression, Luke furrowed his brow slightly and then reprimanded. After the words fell, Luke asked the beautiful woman around him to leave for the time being. What's so urgent? How could it be so impolite? Yes, Your Majesty. The centurion officer took a few deep breaths before continuing. Your Majesty, we have received news from our scouts stationed in the kingdom of Herbert that King Jess of Herbert has led his troops to attack the Romanov kingdom. Is there such a thing? Luke showed an extremely surprised expression. How many people did he bring over? Your Majesty, 10,000 people. Do 10,000 troops dare to attack Bai Luo? Isn't Jess an old fool? 10,000 people dare to go to the Romanov kingdom. Isn't this purely seeking death? 007 Black Lion and Tiger Legion attack. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Luke frowned slightly. He really can't figure out the reason behind it. Although their strength is slightly higher than that of the Romanov kingdom. However, due to its geographical location, the Romanov kingdom is easy to defend but difficult to attack. Even if they want to eat the Romanov kingdom, they will have to pay a heavy price. Injuring 1,000 enemies and losing 800 oneself is a bit more than worth the loss. Jess brought 10,000 people and wanted to attack Bai Luo. This is disrespectful of one's own longevity. Although Luke was puzzled, he was happy to see it. No matter who loses or wins, they will definitely benefit in the end. Just let their dogs bite them, and then you can sit back and reap the benefits of the fishing. Is there anything else? Your Majesty, there is news coming from the inside that Jess seems to have recruited dozens of assassins with a lot of money, and most importantly, for some unknown reason, Dazs, Bonis and Gem from the Baroque Work Society are also among them. What? Luke was greatly surprised at the words and suddenly realized. Damn it, can't you just say it all at once? If there's another time, I'll kill you first. Luke said angrily. Your Majesty, spare your life. Now he finally understands where Jess's confidence lies. Although they are located in the remote waters of the New World. We usually don't encounter strong people here. But not seeing it doesn't mean they don't know. Even they are much clearer than many people. After all, if one accidentally offends the strong of the New World, they will suffer a crisis of national destruction. Of course, he knew that Dazs, Bonis and Gem were not because of their strength. But behind them is one of the 7 martial seas under the king, Croctor. That's all. He no longer wants to delve into how Jess recruited these 2 people. In the eyes of these people, those ordinary soldiers are no different from cannon fodder. Luke suppressed his emotions for a moment. He suddenly stood up. Go and deliver my order. Let all eyeliner keep an eye on these 2 countries and report their war situation at any time. Also, gather the troops immediately and make everyone ready at any time. Yes, Your Majesty. Wait until the Centurion leaves the main hall. Luke's eyes flashed with a fierce look. No matter who lost or won, he couldn't miss this opportunity. Romanov Kingdom. Within the vast palace. White Luo sitting on the throne is listening to Hans and Flying Tiger's report below. Your Majesty, the scout is reporting that the fleet of the Kingdom of Herbert will arrive at our port in no more than 5 minutes. Bai Luo nodded slightly and calculated at the time was also about. How are the troops gathering? Your Majesty, 10,000 elite troops have been assembled and can go to battle at any time. War King, 1,000 Black Lion and Tiger troops are on standby at any time. Okay. Bai Luo suddenly stood up, with a hint of coldness in his eyes. Feitian Tiger, let me test your combat effectiveness in this war. Let the Black Lion and Tiger troops take the lead this time. Don't worry, War King, I won't let you down. Hans, lead your troops to be ready to support at any time. Also, send someone to monitor every move of the Kingdom of Agil. We are at war with the Kingdom of Herbert, and they cannot be unaware. Be careful of their surprise attacks. Yes, Your Majesty. Report. Your Majesty. Just after Bai Luo gave the order. A military officer arrived at the main hall. Then he knelt down on one knee and said. Your Majesty, the fleet of the Kingdom of Herbert is approaching our country's ports. And we found that this time it was led by King Jess himself, and some unidentified people were found around him. Oh. An unidentified person. Interesting. Bai Luo suddenly became interested. No wonder Jess dares to bring 10,000 soldiers to attack his country. It seems that I have been prepared for it long ago. Bai Luo thought this old guy was here to die. Let's go out and see who the helper brought by this old guy Jess is. Since I have come to this world and awakened the Mecha King system. Bai Luo is not limited to being a small king. Not to mention that the rules of this cruel world itself do not allow him to live a peaceful life, even Bai Luo himself cannot sit still. Previously, due to insufficient strength, there was no other way. He can't take the initiative to provoke others, can he? He doesn't mind his own longevity yet. But now, since he has the system, all of these can be achieved in the future. And today is his first battle in the world of pirates. Bai Luo took the lead and walked out of the palace first. Hans and Flying Tiger followed closely behind. Romanov off the coast of the islands of the world. 10 large warships carrying 10,000 troops are sailing towards the Romanov kingdom in a grand and mighty manner. Looking at the gradually clear and prominent outline of the island in sight. The excitement in Jess's eyes was undisguised. Ha ha ha, Bai Luo, this time I want you to kneel in front of me like a dog and beg me. Jess gritted his teeth in hatred towards Bai Luo. This kid is not very old, but his methods are ruthless. But that's already a thing of the past. Now the army is approaching the city, and the strong are gathering. Is there still a way for the Romanov kingdom to survive? You should know that the Romanov kingdom sits on an island that occupies a lot of treasure resources. Even if the kingdom of Herbert and the kingdom of Egil add up, they have just surpassed the kingdom of Romanov. As long as he annexed the Romanov kingdom today, his country can be directly elevated to a higher level. And it can cultivate more strong individuals. At that time, even the most powerful kingdom of Egil would not dare to have their ideas. Bai Luo, you are really foolish. Bai has taken up such a large amount of resources. If you had also paid the heavenly gold like the world government, like the kingdom of Aguilar, there would never have been such a result today. But that's good, it's just a bargain for me. Jess's eyes lit up with flames of greed, and he instinctively clenched his fist. I am extremely excited. 008 Flying Tiger v Dazs Bonis. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. 009 Mighty Flying Tiger, Pony killed in a flash. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at Bonis who was already angry, Jess curved his lips. Next, there's a good show to watch. He doesn't think flying tigers are a match for Bones. At this moment, Jem had his arms wrapped around his chest and looked like he was watching a good show. There aren't many people who can make Bones angry. Don't worry, this guy is about to become a pile of scrap metal. Jess nodded in agreement. Lord Zhanwang. Feitian who looked at Bai Luo with a respectful tone. Go ahead, kill him, prove your strength. Bai Luo nodded. To be honest, he also urgently wants to know how powerful the fused flying tiger is. Although Bonis is not considered a strong player. But strength can also be said to pass. Now, he happens to be a very good experimental subject. Lord Zhan, I won't disappoint you. Seemingly sensing Bai Luo's concerns, Feitian who said a comforting word. He walked straight towards Bonis. At this moment. Flying Tiger versus Bonis. Human, you should take action first. Feitian Tiger spoke like this, but the movements in his hands did not stop. Directly revealed the laser claw in his hand. As the words fell, the momentum of the Flying Tiger continued to climb. Bonis's eyes narrowed slightly, and his face, which had always been calm, was unusually solemn. You really don't look like a robot. In Bonis's impression, robots should only be able to simply execute commands. But every word and action of the Flying Tiger clearly proves that it has independent thinking. More specifically, he believes that the Flying Tiger is more like a human wearing a mecha shell. But as a killer, I have seen many strong people. I will not feel intimidated by the other party's actions. You will pay the price for your arrogance. The words fell. Bonis was also polite and took the initiative to launch an attack. The body disappeared like a ghost in an instant, waiting to reappear. It has already appeared in the void in front of the flying tiger. And this time his speed is faster than before. It is even more difficult to capture the whereabouts. Master Slash. The previous move reappeared. Without any mercy. Grab towards the chest of the flying tiger. He doesn't believe that his blade can't break this scrap metal. Your speed is too slow. Feilu Tiger sneered. As Bonis's attack was about to fall on him, its body instantly disappeared into place. Fast enough to pull out a residual image. It is a speed-based mechanical warrior, and speed itself is its strength. Bonis's speed may seem fast in the eyes of others, but in its eyes it is full of flaws. Bonis's eyes flickered, he couldn't catch it. Damn it. It seems that I underestimated it. This is completely different from the picture he imagined. Robots like this should be very clumsy. Even if it's fast, it's impossible to be so fast. At this moment, a storm had already stirred up in his heart. Being distracted during battles can be a dangerous thing. Not good. Bonis suddenly looked up, only to find that the flying tiger had already appeared above his head. The laser claw slashed towards his head. Feel the pressure coming from above. Bonis dare not be careless. Two arms turned into blades, crossing over to block oneself. With a loud roar. The flying tiger transformed into a stream of light and fiercely swung downwards. Chong. In an instant, the sound of gold and iron clanging sounded. Next second Bonis, whose arm turned into a blade, shook his body and flew backwards. I didn't stabilize my figure until I crossed over 10 meters. One move, stand tall and make a judgment. After a successful strike, Feilu Tiger did not pause at all and continued to pursue the victory. Bai Luo was staring at its every move. Now is the time for it to prove its strength. It wants to defeat Bonis with absolute crushing strength. The flying tiger stepped on one foot, borrowed power from the ground, and then attacked and killed Bonis again. Next second. Jess caught sight of a stunning scene. Under the fierce attack of the flying tigers, Bonis unexpectedly suffered consecutive defeats. There is only defensive strength left, without any counterattack force. And there are more and more wounds on the body. It seems like you can't hold on anymore. The contemptuous voice of the flying tiger reached Bonis's ears. Dust slash. In the gap between the next attack by the flying tiger, Bonis finally seized the opportunity. Suppressing the pain in his body, he crossed his hands and placed them in front of his chest. When the flying tiger launched another attack on him, he suddenly chopped towards it. Feilu Tiger suddenly snorted coldly, and the sprayer behind him spewed flames. Under the driving force, the speed of the flying tiger skyrocketed once again. He dodged Bonis's attack slightly and came behind him. Not good. Bonis was greatly surprised. Feilu Tiger naturally missed this opportunity. The laser claw on the right arm swung towards Bonis's back. At this point, Bonis has not yet finished his previous action. Nature cannot avoid it. Next second. It's over. The flying tiger fiercely inserted the laser claw into Bonis's body. In an instant, it pierced from the back to the chest. Bloody shooting, a strong smell of blood began to permeate the air. Bonis looked down in disbelief at the laser claw protruding from his chest. He felt that the vitality in his body was gradually fading away. Bonis tried hard to open his mouth and wanted to say something. But at this point, he no longer had the strength to speak again. Only painful moans came from the mouth. This is the consequence of disrespect towards Lord Warlord. This is the last sentence that Bonis heard. Next second. Feilu Tiger mercilessly withdrew the laser claw from his body. Blood suddenly spurted out. Thoroughly dye the surrounding ground red. The bloody smell in the air is becoming increasingly strong. And Bonis's pupils gradually dilated. Until it completely loses its color. In the end, he collapsed weakly. Watching someone die, they can't die anymore. Seeing this scene. The scene suddenly heard countless swallowing sounds. Everyone looked at the flying tiger with a shocked expression on their faces. Of course. And the dead Bonis. Feitian, who gave Bonis a disdainful glance. It seems like blaming him for dirtying his beloved weapon. Turn around. Walk towards Bai Luo's direction. Stand in front of Bai Luo. Then he knelt down on one knee, his voice resounding and powerful. Lord John, I am fortunate enough to live up to my fate. Bai Luo nodded in satisfaction. The whole process can be described as simple and rough. There is no hint of flashiness. And this is exactly the effect he wants to see. It is not difficult to judge from the entire battle process. The strength of Feitian Tiger is not only higher than that of Bonis, but also much higher. Almost reached a state of flash sale. From this battle, Bai Luo can basically determine the corresponding combat power of these mechanical beasts in the world of pirates. Well done, get up. Yes, Lord War King. The Black Lion and Tiger army that started slaughtering in 010. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Feitian Tiger stood up again respectfully behind Bai Luo. It seems like I just did a trivial thing just now. In fact, it is exactly the same. He originally thought his first battle would be very enjoyable. I didn't expect Bonis to be a weaker group. He was somewhat disappointed. Hans glanced at the flying tiger in the afterglow, his throat constantly rolling. Boy, he didn't even know that Feitian Tiger's strength was so strong. Fortunately, I didn't spar with him at that time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been publicly abused by him. At that time, it would be really embarrassing and embarrassing. On the other side, Jess and Jem were completely confused at this moment. I didn't even react immediately. More precisely, they dare not accept this cruel reality. Dazs Bonis actually dead. Still dying in the hands of a robot. And the entire battle between the two lasted for less than a minute. Bonis was instantly killed. At this moment, their eyes were still filled with disbelief. How could this be possible? The pupils behind Jem's sunglasses have completely lost their focus. After a brief silence, he finally accepted this reality. The next second, his internal breath began to restlessly stir. Jess, why didn't you tell us such an important thing? He roared angrily at Jess. In his view, all of this was caused by Jess. Although the flying tiger killed Bonis. But if it weren't for Jess not telling them about such an important situation, Bonis wouldn't underestimate the enemy so easily. Looking at Jem holding himself accountable. Jess is really a mute-eating Huanglian, unable to express his bitterness. He doesn't even know when Bai Luo created so many mechanical beasts. Today is also the first time he has met. How can he say it in advance? But it's already too late to say anything now. Even if people are dead, they cannot come back to life. Looking at Jess, who fell silent. Jan Dun let out a cold snort. Bonis cannot die in vain. You should know his identity. Clockdale values him the most. If you don't take down Bai Luo and Feitian Tiger today, you'll just wait to bear his anger. Upon hearing Jem's threat, Jess's body was trembling. Who could have imagined that things would develop to this extent? Although Jess had never met Clockdale, his reputation was as notorious as thunder. He has no doubt about Jem's words. I can't just go back like this today, otherwise. Even if Bai Luo doesn't take action, Clockdale will have to come and kill him. Now we have to work hard. Bai Luo, it's all because of you. Jess said viciously, his back teeth almost biting apart. Bai Luo looked at the infuriated Jess and sneered. Jess, if it weren't for verifying the flying tiger's combat power, your kingdom would have long ceased to exist. I didn't go find you, you actually brought it to your door yourself. Exactly, let's end it all today. Flying tiger. I'm here. Lead your black lion and tiger army and kill me. Remember, no one can let go. Yes, Lord War King. The whole army obeys orders. On. On. Accompanied by deafening sounds. Kill me. The flying tiger issued a decisive order to slaughter. Next second. Thousands of black lions and tigers behind Bai Luo moved. The sound of steel stepping on the ground echoed one after another. The sound kept coming and going. So many black lions and tigers are active at the same time. The ground beneath the feet of both armies began to tremble. Watching the black lion and tiger troops charge out. Bai Luo issued the order again. Hans. I am here. Let your army of 10,000 also be active. Cooperate with the black lion and tiger army to kill all the people in the Herbert kingdom, leaving no one behind. Yes, your majesty. Upon hearing the command, Hansen's pupils flickered with crazy flames. He has been waiting for a long time this day. Belonging to the kingdom of Romanov. On. On. Kill them completely without leaving a trace. Yes. The soldiers were already holding their breath in their hearts. And now they still have an absolute advantage. Almost in an instant, everyone rushed towards the enemy. Watching Bai Luo's army launch a comprehensive attack. Jess's face was gloomy as if he was about to drip water. But at this point, he was already on the verge of firing an arrow. Hear orders from the kingdom of Herbert. I'm here. I'm here. Equally imposing. Today is the moment of survival for the kingdom of Herbert. Winning them will reward everyone. Warriors, go ahead. Kill. Kill. With Jess's brief mobilization, all the soldiers of the Herbert kingdom knew that it was now a time of life and death. We can only fight to the death. Even though they were at a disadvantage at this time, their momentum was not inferior to that of the soldiers of the Romanov kingdom. But unfortunately, in the face of absolute strength, these are all useless. Although the black lion and tiger troops do not represent absolute strength. But dealing with these ordinary soldiers is too easy. Everyone then witnessed the incredibly bloody scene that followed. The black lion and tiger troops charged into the crowd. Like wolves and flocks of sheep. The light claws on their hands are constantly harvesting the lives of the soldiers. Whenever the light and shadow passed by, one soldier completely lost his breath. Their speed is so fast that ordinary soldiers cannot capture their figures at all. Often, it falls down before it even reacts. In just a few breaths, hundreds of people died at the hands of the black lion and tiger. Jess watched helplessly as his carefully trained soldiers fell to the enemy's hands one by one. The canthus is about to crack. What are you doing? Why don't you stop them quickly? Looking at the pirates and assassins who were hesitant to come on stage, Jess roared angrily. Don't think it's okay if you don't take action. Do you think Bai Luo will let you go? Sure enough, after a brief thought, dozens of extremely vicious pirates exchanged a glance at each other, gritted their teeth, and still charged forward. They took the initiative to welcome the army of black lions and tigers. Only they can cause significant damage to the black lion and tiger here.